Today is the day, guys. I can't do it anymore. I just can't do the black wheels. I don't know what it is. Sometimes they look good to me. Most of the time they don't. So we're gonna do a little experimenting today. So what are we gonna do today? Well, we're gonna paint some wheels. I know you guys can hear the air conditioner in the background, and I do apologize, but we got to do something with these wheels. We have got to do something with these wheels. I'm just not digging the black. Like, black on black is just a little too much for me. It looks good at times, like whenever the truck's out in the sunlight. Otherwise, it just looks like a hot, just gobbled up mess. I don't know. It just doesn't look good to me. So, I think we're going to experiment with some silver today. You lose that 20-inch wheel effect whenever you go all black like this. Besides, these wheels are in pretty bad shape, so they need something done to them. So what we're gonna do for right now is just spray this one wheel. I'm gonna put it on the truck and we're gonna see how it looks. It may turn out like crap, and if it does, then we're just gonna go back gloss black for now. I do wanna cover with you guys what I'm doing right this second. So these wheels have been sprayed with about everything you can possibly think of to, you know, like tire shine and stuff like that. So you really gotta get in here and get all of this stuff off, especially down in this groove right here, around where the wheel and tire meet. What I've been doing is just spraying it down with this purple power. It's a degreaser. It'll get in there and really clean all that stuff up for you. And then we have been sanding with Scotch-Brite. So you can use a red or a gray Scotch-Brite to get in here and clean these things up really good. And basically they're ready for paint that quick. But see, down in here, this is the reason why we're having to respray these wheels. They're really dull, and they've got caked on brake dust. It is embedded into the powder coat. We will be spraying the wheels with the tires still on. So that's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna tape everything up, make it look nice, scuff it up really good. And once you get it the way you want it, dry everything off, clean it up a couple times, and you should be good to go. It's that simple. So then I'll just come in and tape the wheel out right here. You can lay plastic over it and cut it out if you want to. There's a million different ways to do it. These wheels, I don't think I can do the playing card trick where I just lay the playing cards around it, so I'm not sure on that. But either way, guys, I'm gonna go ahead, finish sanding these things up, and we're gonna start applying some paint and see what they look like. The main reason why I'm not going to do like a how-to is I've already done like, I think 1 or 2, and there are a ton on the internet, and we all pretty much do them the same way. Got everything sanded down, everything's dry, looks pretty good. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna finish cleaning everything up, dry it all off, start our taping process, which is what we're gonna have to do on this particular wheel, and figure out how we're gonna do that. So we're just doing this one wheel right now to make sure everything is good. And I just taped off the center cap right here, so it should be pretty easy. And I'm gonna leave the center cap on when I spray it, because that's everything that I want to be silver anyway. So there's just no point in taking that off and have to spray it separately. Now, if you were like doing these for like a customer or somebody, you would want to take all that off and do it the right way. But since it's for my truck, I'm perfectly fine with that. Paint will get back in behind it and you'll be good to go. I do want to show you what it is that I'm going to be spraying with. I think this is the stuff I used last time and it worked really good. The stuff looked nice. I'm going to tell you a secret if you don't already know. Base coat is base coat is base coat. Look, the base coat that goes on these vehicles, say for instance this truck right here, if you just sprayed base coat, you could scratch it off with your fingernail. The clear coat's what protects it, so always remember that. If there's a color in spray paint that you like, you can pick it up, spray whatever it is, and then come back and clear coat over it. Now obviously you wouldn't want to spray paint a whole vehicle because you'd leave streaks and all that, but for wheels it's perfectly fine. Now we are going to be putting a 2K clear over the top of this, so we're going to be using the Nason 465 clear on top of this, so it should be nice and pretty, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll cut back to you guys in just a minute. Well, we are prepped and ready to go. What I used here is literally just an old sheet, and I can probably get 2 wheels at least out of this. Everything's been sanded, wiped down with a prep salt or a wax remover. Here we go. I chose not to speed this process up for you guys so that you can see the technique that I use to spray the wheels. We will speed the process up once we go to clear coat, but for right now, I figured I would leave this in for you guys. So as you make a trip around with a really light coat, you're basically good for another light coat by the time you work your way around, that is, if it's hot outside. Remember, this stuff is really thin, so focus on the corners first.
And don't focus so much right here on the lug nut holes because it's really dark down there anyway and it's hard to get paint. If you focus on that, there's a good chance you're going to get a run. Now this silver is somewhat tricky because it is so thin. Now what you're going to want to do here is just go with light coats. You can peck away at it on your first couple of coats, so you can be a little heavy in some spots. It can be a little streaky. It's not that big of a deal. What you do want to focus on though is on your final coat, you want to do like a control coat, meaning you just want to kind of come across the whole wheel and blend everything in real lightly. But at the point we're at right now on the wheel, it's okay to just make sure you've got all of your corners covered and the edge of the wheel like I'm doing right here. You definitely want to make sure you get enough paint down there on the edge. So you just want to let everything tack up good and you want to come back for that second thick coat. So now what we're going to do is really start filling in these gaps here where we had some missed paint. There again guys, I left this in real time so that you can see the actual spraying technique. It seems like I get questions every time that we fast forward through something. One more tip that I want to give you guys is when your paint can starts to get low, say around halfway, it's best sometimes to tilt the wheel straight up or at an angle so that your paint can doesn't start spitting paint. When it does that, you're going to get light spots, dark spots, all that type stuff. So if you can, tilt your wheel up at an angle, and this will allow the paint can to spray better and also for you to get some hard to reach areas that you couldn't see with it laying down. And as you can see right there, we have a really wet spot. Now what you're going to want to do there is let that spot dry down right on the spoke there. Then you want to come back with a control coat over the top of it like I'm doing there. Overall, this is a really simple process. Pretty much anybody can do this in their driveway, in their garage. It's not that big of a deal. Just pick up any color paint that you like, but I will suggest that you top it off with a good clear coat. And here I'm just going around making sure that I don't have any real dark spots. And we're gonna come back over with one more coat, and that will be the control coat like I was telling you guys about once I'm done filling in all the dark spots. So as you can see right here, we're applying a 2K clear. That means a 2-part clear. We're using the same clear coat that we used on the truck. And what I'm doing is starting in the corners. You always want to start in your corners first because that's where the most clear coat can accumulate. So if you go ahead and you knock all of your corners out first, you have less chance of a run forming. We're going to put 2 coats of clear on this thing and we're going to be done.
Alright guys, that is the first coat of clear. I'm going to come back in, put one more coat, and we're going to call it quits on this.
I just want to convey to everyone, this is a very simple process. Pick up a can of spray paint. You can buy 2K clear in a can from your local paint store, something like that. Just be mindful of your neighbors. That 2K clear is pretty harsh, guys. It gets in the air. It will stick to your vehicles. It'll stick to your neighbors' vehicles. Anyway, guys, give it a try. It's not as hard as you think it is, but for now, let's go ahead and skip to the final result.
We now have all the wheels sprayed in silver. So the next step is go ahead, put some clear coat on these things and knock this out. I'm ready to be done with it. Shouldn't be too much streaking. I see a little bit. That could just be a wet spot right there. So I hope that's what it is. Either way, we're gonna check this thing out. We're gonna make them look as good as possible, guys. And remember, these wheels were, they're pretty chewed up to start with. So anything outside of that is gonna be a vast improvement. So I still got the time lapse going over there. I'm just gonna go ahead, let these things dry down, shoot some clear on them. I'll be back to you guys in just a minute. The wheels are on the truck. There's a sneak peek right there. All right, guys, let's go ahead and back this thing out and see how it looks. Now, obviously, the tires are super dull. I usually like to armor all them. but the paint's still tacky, so we can back it out though, no problem. Probably been an hour since I sprayed them. That's perfectly fine to go ahead and back it out. Now I won't be driving the vehicle today because there's a lot of shit that gets slung up on your wheels and a lot of heat that builds up through your rotors and brakes and everything. So that's different than, you know, maybe driving down the road with a fresh paint job on your vehicle. Let the paint on your wheels sit. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead, back this thing out. Cross your fingers, hope it looks good. It's just amazing to me the difference that, you know, a set of wheels can give a vehicle. The thing I like about the silver wheels over the black is this just speaks lightning, right? It just screams lightning. Whenever you see this, that's the first thing you think of. I don't know, just silver wheels. Looks great, guys. Oh yeah, that's just a beautiful sight right there, guys. Look at that. I hope you like the new color on the wheels. I'm gonna go ahead, wrap this video up. I see Memphis, she's already coming outside now. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching.